Now, as I said in the last video, we should focus on the positive. But negativity gets me more views, so I don't care. Like I've said previously, people are idiots. They're like stupid little moths attracted to the light, except the light is just straight up stupidity. Like, take the tier testing staff, for example. I don't typically watch Marlo videos, but a while ago, I watched her video on the corruptness of the tier testing staff. Now, this could just be corruptness, sure, but a lot of it was just idiots being idiots. Matter of fact, I've tier tested before and seen the idiots that run those Discord servers. These are my ranks as of right now for anyone wondering. And to be honest, I'm pretty proud of them. Especially my crystal rank, because I do not at all deserve low tier 4 in the slightest. But I do think SMP is my main game mode. It's definitely my most intuitive kit. But there's kind of a big issue with tier testing that I think people typically overlook. One that I honestly overlooked when I was getting into tier testing. It's that tier testing, at least in the beginning, makes you feel like you're not as good as you think you are, you know? It definitely like humbles you when you get tier tested that first time. But the reason I still like to tier test occasionally is just to kind of see if I've improved, which honestly, come to think of it, is kind of dumb because it's all up to the tier tester to make that call. But I mean, still, I like to see if I've improved. You know, this other dude, Aximity, also made a video on his experience with the tier testing community. Um, but people did not like his video as much as people liked Marlowe's. Probably because this other guy, Nine Takes, made a video debunking basically everything Aximity said in his video. You know, like straight up exposing him for cheating and all the other stuff Aximity had controversy about. Anyway, this kind of leads me to feel like the Minecraft community just, it just kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, ever since the Dream SMP era, it's just been absolutely terrible. Like, all the big creators also kind of suck too. Like, the only one who was actually good and brought, like, some sense of unity at all was, of course, Technoblade. But I mean, Technoblade is perfect, you know? But even still, the community is still garbage. Anyway, story time. Sit down, kids. Sit down. Calm down. Okay? So, I'm in 7th grade. We have a fire drill. Only, it's not a drill, and there was no fire. Confusing, I know. So, we go across where the parking lot is, and they line us up like a bunch of little kindergartners, you know? They still do that. And as the edgy 12-year-old I was at the time, I started making arson jokes. And so the emergency exit from the building ends and we go back inside. And then out of nowhere, at around 2:30, my teacher gets a phone call and it's the school counselor. Now, the counselor asks for me and a few others who weren't in my class. So I go to the counselor's office and I'm I'm in there with a couple 8th graders and another 7th grader. Now, I don't actually know for sure if the arson jokes were why I was called to the counselor's office, but I can't really imagine myself doing anything worse than making arson jokes at the time. Anyway, then after about 30 minutes of a random therapy session, she finally lets us go back to our classes. Now, Like I said before, I don't know why I was called down there, but it's too late now. That was like 4 years ago. Whatever. Anyway, speaking of crimes, I know this video probably won't get many comments, if any, but comment down your favorite crime, whether it be a war crime, a federal crime, political crime. Let me know. It's always fun. Personally, I really enjoy arson. You know, what was the cause? The main cause of 2,977 American citizens dying on September 11th, 2001? Arson. And plane hijacking and crashing. But that caused arson. Anyway, another story from 7th grade was when I was in PE class. You know, I washed my. I. What? I asked my teacher if I can go to the bathroom. She says, yeah, I go to the bathroom. I'm doing my business. Now, before I tell you the rest of the story, you gotta understand that I was the short kid back then. I was maybe about 5 foot, maybe 5'1" at the most at the time. So, I do my business, and when I start to wash my hands, I notice another kid there. It was a fourth grader. So, as the little introvert nerd that I was at the time, I don't really talk to the kid. I barely even talk to my parents. Then, the kid randomly out of nowhere tells me that I look like a Minecraft skeleton. Now, after that, in my mind, I'm like, what is this kid on about? Like it was very surprising. I was very caught off guard by it. Like like I did not expect this kind of disrespectful behavior from such a tiny little goblin. So, I respond and I say, "Look in the mirror, kid." Then, after about 2 seconds and him not washing his hands, he starts to walk out of the bathroom. And I ask him, "Yo, kid, you want to arm wrestle to see who the Minecraft skeleton is?" And then after he leaves, he just keeps walking. After he leaves, I notice my friend just standing in the hallway there, cracking up about what he just witnessed. You know, about a couple weeks go by, um, after this little incident, and I learned from the same friend that the kid who was apparently a fourth grader thought I was a second grader, even though I was taller, and even though this kid was just so unbelievably short. Like, he was at most 3'11", at most. And, every so often, when I get on a call with my friend and I bring it up, you know, we just joke about the whole situation. It was honestly really funny, if I'm being quite honest. Anyway, 7th grade is by far my favorite year of school I think I've really ever had. I had one of my best teachers ever, Mr. Frazier. He taught world history and public speaking. That public speaking class, very helpful with writing speeches, all sorts of stuff like that. Just writing in general. I had basically all of my classes with my friends, and surprisingly, I had fun at school. I know, wild. That and like that's just a rare thing for just people. Um anyway, I gotta wrap this video up. So, like, subscribe, do all the things. Please, come on, you know you wanna do it. I need food to feed my family.